Yo, what's going on? Welcome back to your regular programming. Um, in this video, we're going to be diving deeper into the strategy, into what good opportunities are, what they're not, and helping you understand this entire business model, and then also understanding what type of niche and industry that you might want to go down. And yeah, that's it. So number one, defining the strategy. Like, let's focus on that, right? So basically what you're doing here is you're generating opportunities for businesses so they can make more money, right? And this is a skill that you'll be able to use for life, right? There's always going to be businesses out there who want more opportunities, they want to make more money. And so business is fundamentally competition, right? Getting more leads is how they survive. So it's like, will this be around in 5 years, 10 years, etc.? Of course it will, right? It's not going anywhere. The skills that you're learning right now are things that you can keep forever. And so basically, as a business growth consultant, you're learning skills that's going to allow you to build an extremely flexible income business that can operate across industries. You might have experience in a particular industry. Maybe you like it. Maybe you want to build on that experience. Maybe you don't. Maybe you want to build something completely new and you want the opportunity to start fresh and create something that you're going to actually find a lot of value in, not just now, but 5 years from now, 10 years from now, right? Something you can even pass on. That's the beauty of business. So there's always going to be businesses who want more leads, who are not using new tools, and they want to be, who are looking for an advantage, who are too busy to do it themselves. Most people in the business world, they just outsource tasks, right? You might have worked as a part of a company and they've got like a lead generation person or a digital marketer on the team that's just feeding everybody leads. You can be that person with a couple of really simple systems and skills, right? It's not really that difficult, especially if you're specialized and you focus on one particular thing. So the cool thing is, as a business growth consultant, you don't need any formal qualifications. You don't need to know everything. You simply need the ability to get a business a result. And this is going to be get a business more leads, right? So in this program, you're going to learn how to generate leads for them using automated systems. And it's a skill that many others have used to generate 6 and even 7-figure incomes. You're going to do this in an efficient, step-by-step way by actually doing and earning while you learn, while you actually upskill yourself. And we're going to be using one system, and we call this system Lead Launch. And basically the role of a business growth consultant is to connect people who have a desire or a problem to businesses who can help them. And you're building systems to do this using ads, automated email, SMS, all that stuff we spoke about. And basically the software that we're going to give you will help you track and automate everything, but we still need to understand the fundamentals of what good marketing is and what of generating value is. Okay, so let's dive into that because it's going to help us understand what a good niche is. All right, so I'm blasting through this, but you've got it here in the document anyway. The fastest way to actually add value to a business is by advertising the business, right? And this is going to get the business in front of more eyeballs, or advertising the offer or the idea, right? There are free ways of advertising, such as posting to an audience that the business owns or that you own. There are paid ways, such as social media advertising. I'm going to show you a particular ad sort of strategy that's going to work really well on Facebook, Insta, YouTube Shorts, and TikTok. Don't mess around too much with the Google ads side of things at the moment, but it's a very powerful strategy that's going to work for the widest, broadest possible range of businesses. So you're going to be learning both of these ways inside of the program. And once your ads work and people are clicking on them, filling in their details and becoming leads, you'll be able to automatically communicate with them, filter them, book them in with the business, all that stuff, right? To make that time for money sort of ratio extremely high. So you're not spending heaps of your own personal manual time trying to follow up everything. And that's really what software can do for us, right? We are generating leads here, which means this is only for businesses that want to speak to people over the phone and sell their products and services in that way. Honestly, 90% of the time, it's going to be services because this does not work for e-commerce, all right? So we're not trying to do online transactions here. E-commerce is substantially harder to make work because you're dealing with very low profit margins. A lot of the time people think, oh, I'm just going to do SaaS as well. But it's a lot easier to do SaaS when you charge high ticket. We'll go into more of that later. But long story short, we're looking for businesses with big profit margins, all right? And so for you to understand this business model, you need to understand margins. So let's go into that. So some businesses Success in business can be broken down to a very simple math, all right? It's all about the cost versus profit, easily understandable. All businesses invest in things, marketing, team, tools, etc., and work under the assumption that they will make more than they spend, right? A business has to spend money. If a business spends no money, they're going to be paying maximum amount of tax, right? Most businesses spend money to make money. So all that marketing is about is the costs we put in and how much we're able to get back in return. So ROI, basically, return on investment. If a business is charging a lot of money for what they do, then they stand to earn a lot. And so the return on investment can be high. So if a businesses that are charging high prices, let's say above $3,000 in lifetime value, they usually have profit margins of 50% or more, especially if they're service businesses. So let's say $1,500 in this case, all right? This means they have margin left over to be able to pay for marketing and for services like what you have, right? It also means that your job will simply be to generate leads and they will take over and sell on the phone, making your job easier, and instead of you having to try to sell stuff online, right? So in this program, you're going to learn how to generate more opportunities for free for businesses, but also learn how to use paid ads to ramp it up, right? Earn a lot of money, get yourself some retainers, commissions, potentially thousands each month, right? Especially if you're working with high ticket businesses. So I'm going to walk you guys through an example of how the numbers could work out if you're doing paid ads. Let's go with something like a really sort of stock standard, boring business, fence installation, okay? So let's say someone's installing a fence, right? The profit of installing that fence is about $1,500, right? They actually mark that up on the cost of goods. And so let's say we're running an ad campaign. We might find that our clicks are $2. That's a $2 cost per click. Now, the main KPI that I want you to keep in your mind is about 10% at least of clicks that you get on your ads should turn into a lead, all right? So if you've got $2 clicks, you got $20 leads. If you've got $3 clicks, you got $30 leads, right? Doesn't really matter so much if we have a high price thing, right? Because then you're gonna have a conversion rate from the lead to actually becoming a customer. Not everyone that becomes a lead is gonna be a customer. Another KPI rule of thumb, if you've got a decent process, you should be having at least 10% of the leads that you generate actually turning into customers. So really simple math here. If we're paying $20 for a lead, that means we pay, and only 10% of them actually become customers, we're actually paying $200 in total to acquire a customer. Which means if our profit is $1,500 and we've paid $200, then the leftover is $1,300. Look how terrible our math is, right? But you got $1,300 left over. And so this is what we call margin, ROI, right? And so from here, you can absolutely do a deal with the business that if you've brought in this lead, right, even if you've invested your own money in advertising, which you don't have to do at the beginning, but if you have, right, and you've spent $200 and you've got a customer, that business could easily, give you a cut that could more than make up for your costs of lead generation, right? So typically, if you're taking the burden and the cost of running the ads yourself, the deals that you're doing are like 50-50 profit deals at least, right? But if the business is spending the money to actually run the ads, they're taking on all that risk, then you might take 20-30% of a service fee to actually launch the campaign and to follow up those leads, which a lot can be automated, but you follow up those leads and then you book them in with the business, right? So even if they were paying you at no risk, you'd make a lot. But even if you took the risk on of running ads yourself, you can still make a lot, right? Now you can do a lot better than this. Obviously, we're just dealing with like a fence installation here. Imagine we're doing like a high ticket sort of educational program or property, right? Where the commissions could be $20,000 plus, or finance where the numbers are just a lot more. You could do a lot better than this, right? But these numbers are conservative and typical for a lot of industries, right? So we've actually had trainees make more than 50K for a business shortly after launching if the business is charging more, or if you can simply just convert more of those leads with better marketing or a better sales offer, then the numbers will scale up significantly. Now you can actually tweak numbers to understand how they might work better with this ROI marketing calculator. I'm going to open this up in a new tab. And it's really simple, right? So this I built for you so you can understand margin and you can understand the core metrics of a business. So let's say that the service that we have or that we're promoting is $7,000. Let's say that we invest $1,000 into the lead generation or advertising spend, right? Now CPM, you don't know what that is, but it's basically the cost to reach people with those ads. It varies by industry. Some industries are more, some industries are less. It just depends on the quality of the audience. Typically it's going to be anywhere from $30 to $100 on the high end, right? So let's say 50. And this will be like your decent audience, right? It might be like your homeowners, your people that want to learn skills. It'll be about $50 CPM. If you're going after business owners, like really expensive markets, it might be higher, right? Now the average CTR, which is a click-through rate of the ad, percentage of people that actually click on the ad, it's about 1%, right? And so this is a really average ad. It could be a lot higher than this as well, but that's our KPI. Now, once again, 10% of the clicks become leads. We actually break it down in further detail. How many of the leads are actually good leads? Let's say only half of them are good leads. How many of those good leads turn into sales opportunities? Let's say only half of them, right? And how many of really good qualified leads that become sales opportunities do we actually end up closing and signing up for the service? Let's say it's about 40%, so even less than half of those. If you had these numbers, this would be your profit, right? 1,300% ROI on ad campaigns. The way that will work down, if you spend $1,000 on ads, you'd get 200 clicks in total, 20 leads, 10 would be good, 5 would become actual sales opportunities, would close 2 at $7,000 each, would make 14 grand, but we would have spent 1, so we've made 13 grand in profit, right? And then down here, you have some, very simple sort of potential figures that you might want to run with. Like if you just want to build a business that is very low touch point, you can just sell these leads. We've had people do that in this program since the beginning. I'm going to be showing you how to get in contact with those leads and qualify them a bit and charge more. But if you're just sending off the leads directly to the business and having no touch points, you could easily sell these leads for $50 a pop. $140 a pop in this particular industry. You could easily charge a retainer of at least $1,800 a month, right? $2,600 a month. So you've just got some figures there. We're going to go more into that a little bit later. If you ever are in a situation in this program where you're wondering what you should charge, you've got questions, once again, always come to us, ask us like, hey Zane, I'm thinking about this, what should I do? That's what we're here for, all right? So hopefully that helps you understand margin. Things break down, like everything's a funnel, and it's clear enough to understand. The key, I guess the important thing is, if it's high ticket, if we can help a lot of people with it, the margins work out, right? And that's the key. Like a lot of people waste time with low ticket opportunities. High ticket's best. It's the fastest way to start earning. You can make a copy of that actual ROI calculator for yourself. Anything in the program, by the way, any resources, docs, Google Docs, etc., click file, click make a copy, and make that copy for yourself. And then you can tweak it, mess around with it, do whatever you want to do. So imagine if you helped this fencing company that we just spoke about here, right, with this example that only has $1,500 profit, make one extra job each week, right? They would have made $4,800 extra that month with more leads that will close in the future, as not everyone will be ready right away. So asking for a base payment of $1,000 a month, but you're making them close to 5, that's fine. That is doable, just so you understand the ratio. It's kind of like 80-20 rule. And that will hopefully start to like just cover all your costs, right? So just asking for like $1,000 a month just to keep this going for them, like a system like this going, would be reasonable. Not to mention the possibility of getting commissions as well. As we understand it, we need to understand it from their perspective, right? Because if we're going to be helping other business owners, typically we're not making heaps of money unless they're making heaps of money, all right? So with that said, businesses outsource all the time. And if they just enjoy working with you and the relationship has potential, then they will want you on the team. They want to continue working with you as a partner. So to hire just like, let's say, a digital marketing specialist for their business, this would typically cost that business a pay salary of 6 figures. And that person that they hire, they would need to manage, right, themselves. You asking for $1,000 a month as a base retainer is not that big of a deal, right? So we're going to be offering to get them help, get them results, oftentimes with 0 or low risk. So basically you have a winning offer from the beginning that's a lot better than all the other alternatives that they have if they want to go grow their business. What's the alternative, right? Hire somebody. Incredibly expensive, takes a lot of time to ramp that person up, all of that. If you're coming in with a strategy in mind, with systems built, it's amazing, right? For that business owner, they're gonna light up at that, especially if you know how to talk about it. If they want to go hire an agency, a lot of the time those agencies, once again, very expensive. I've seen agencies charge $5,000, $10,000 a month and guarantee 0 results, right? So if you can guarantee a result, or if your relationship is based on results, you absolutely cut through the market and you have an incredible offer that's going to be really pretty simple to sell, right? So getting customers online is an arena that a lot of businesses struggle with. And so you're solving a big problem for them. But in order to do it, you need to understand the fundamentals of profitable niches. A niche is a segment of the market that could be profitable, and it consists of both an audience and an offer. All right, so that's what a niche is. It's not just the business that we're helping, it's the audience as well. So the audience means people that we will be attracting for the business and running ads to, let's say, potentially. It's the type of client the business can do really well with and make good money by working with them, right? So we've already spoken about this, but all people have problems, and there's always solutions to those problems, and they're usually in the form of businesses and services. So for example, if someone's monthly expenses are too high, the solution for this could be loans, could be financial planning, could be mortgage refinance, could be new career opportunities. The list goes on. And so really what we're doing is we're promoting a service as a solution to a specific problem, right? So each of these solutions compete for superiority in the market. As a marketer, which is what I'm training you to think like, we can convince people to become interested in the solution we're promoting and encourage them to take steps towards learning more about it and then ultimately buying it, okay? So the audience you choose should be a couple of things. Number one, if we're going to be helping a business, we want an audience that of people, if we're going to be connecting people to a business, the people that we're trying to help, we want it to be reasonably large and not overly niche. Niche is good, but if it's too niche, we can't scale that, right? So most often what I'm looking for is B2C or B2B with at least tens of thousands, ideally hundreds of thousands or millions of people that we can potentially target. If it's not at this level, if we only want to help people that run, we're trying to connect, it's super B2B, then it's not going to run, we're not going to be able to run ads to that. We can still probably do outreach to get leads in the door, but your cap at scale is going to be limited. The automation potential is going to be limited, right? If it's a broad market, we can have systems that we build and run that can run for ages, right? So if it's too niche, your campaigns will be too niche and you're not going to get much distribution and you're going to need constant refreshes. So I would encourage you to go after audiences that we can help that are reasonably large. Okay, so think homeowners, think business owners of a particular type, or even just service business owners. Think women with anxiety, think mums above 40, think have some element of specificity, right? You don't want to help everybody, but ideally just the certain client demographic that would be really valuable for the business that can afford it, all that stuff, right? Number two, they have a long-term desire or pain. So if the person that you're helping, or if the type of leads that we're trying to generate don't care at all about achieving something meaningful or solving some sort of problem, the overall impact and the effect of the marketing is going to be limited, and then we're not going to have a strong reason to buy, right? They're not going to have a reason to buy. There's a difference between nice to have and want to have, right? We need the want to have. We need them to want something. We need them to want a solution, right? So for example, let's take fencing, very boring industry, right? But the way that we'd probably structure that ad is be hey, a fence is really good for your security for your home. It's really good for increasing the value of your home. A fence can make your neighbors jealous, right? It could have a camera in it so you can track your deliveries and your parcels. We'll find a solution to make them want it. Can't just be hey, we do fences, and that's not going to work, right? Number three, they have to have the money to pay for a solution, right? If we're targeting brokies, we're going to struggle, right? So that's enough said. Ideally, the leads that we're going after shouldn't be everyone and anyone, all right? They should be people that can afford what we're actually selling. The audience you choose to target should not be in some sort of urgency, emergency sort of level, because a lot of the time, if someone is in urgency, like, holy shit, my pipes just exploded in my house, I need a solution right now, you would think that that would be a good audience to target, but that's actually more of a Google Ads play where people are in like active search mode and they're looking for a business. A lot of those types of leads, what happens is they go and search online. And so the actual costs to generate those as leads are quite high because all the businesses are competing for those people that are ready right now. What we're really looking to do is convince people of a solution. So instead of doing emergency plumbing, instead what we would do is probably more like water filtration systems that will make your family healthy, right? And we can actually convince them to go through and be interested in something like that. So I'm not looking to help, not looking to do Google Ads in this program. We're really looking to generate leads that are broad market, broad scale, and qualify those leads and book them in with businesses. We want our marketing and our campaigns to introduce a concept to people, not have them already have this concept and be comparing multiple different businesses. Because those are surprisingly, they're not the best leads as well. They're like, yeah, they want something, they know what they want, but they're also likely to price haggle. They're also likely to compare you to other providers. Yeah, it's just not my wheelhouse. I prefer generating opportunity from the very beginning and creating compelling marketing campaigns that convince people and introduce a concept, okay? Now, the thing that we're introducing is an offer a lot of the time. An offer is basically just an ask that we make of the audience. Okay, so this is where we start to move into like the types of things that we're promoting on the actual ads themselves, the businesses, that sort of thing, right? But we're never really like promoting directly the actual service, right? A lot of the time when we're running ads, we're actually promoting a starting offer, an offer that we can make to the audience that will get them to take some sort of action to begin with. So it's an ask that we make of the audience. This is basically a call to action that we make, what we give the audience in exchange for their action. So we're asking for a lot of the time when it comes to lead generation, the name, the email, the phone number, right? The actual contact details of the person. And there's a massive difference between asking someone to buy something versus getting them to fill in their details for a free consultation. And that's usually the offer that we're running with a lot of the time. So this is the difference between generating sales itself versus just generating leads, right? A lot of the time when you're making marketing campaigns, when you're doing outreach, ads, that type of stuff, you're saying, hey, if you have this problem, we can help you get started in solving it with a free consult or with a free strategy session, right? It's free, it's valuable, it's designed to get them that first step of the way there, not selling the actual solution thing directly, ever, really. And so if we promote free offers, it's going to be the best way to get leads. So free calls and consults with the business is usually the main offer that we focus on as lead generation marketers, right? We do this by creating an advertisement that promises the value that they're going to get, and then we make the not the consultation, the consultation or chat with the business the first step for them to actually unlock the value, right, that we're actually able to create. So for example, let's say we're running an ad. It might go something like this. It might be like, hey, if you're a trades business owner, that's our audience that we're targeting, that is making good money, but you can't seem to keep it after all your expenses, your taxes, your bills, this is for you. Most tradies are overpaying on tax and underclaiming their benefits. After working with a lot of them, we've been able to recover all this money for our clients, and we're able to save our clients a whole bunch of money in the long run as well with smart financial planning and tax planning. Let us see if we can save or reclaim your money with a free financial health chat. Click here to book yours now. Okay, so what have we done? We've identified a target market. We've identified a problem that they have. We've hopefully built a little bit of credibility, and we've said, hey, we can help you. Just, it's free, let's talk, right? So click here, book it in, right? Click here to claim. That's it. And that will generate the leads in the first place. When we get the leads in, you can send them directly to a business. You can call them up, you can qualify them, be like, hey, what are you interested in? And then to connect them that way, you have a lot of options, right? So this is an example of a marketing, of making a promise follow up with a free consult offer. In order to do something like this, the business must actually be able to help this particular person, right? So we'd only run this campaign if the business could actually make these claims, right? And actually help them. It's just an example. So this is why we also need to consider the service the lead will eventually buy, right? It needs to be valuable and easily accessible. The leads need to be able to afford it, buy it. The business needs to be able to deliver it at a reasonable consistency at scale, right? So a lot of the time, you have businesses that you work with and they want leads, but they can only do one job a month. It's not really the type of business that I want to be working with unless I have a lot of them, right? And I can distribute leads to many of them. You always have to be thinking about you and thinking about your scale potential, right? So ideally, the service that I want to promote is going to be something that the business can deliver very quickly. And if they don't already have that, I'm even open to talking with the business and like actually putting something custom together, right? A lot of the time. And so just so you guys know, there are good and bad niches. So let me walk you through a couple of examples so we can make this extremely clear, and then we can talk about how you can find your own, all right? So a niche is made up of the audience we're targeting and the services we're promoting. Hopefully you get that. There are good niches and there are bad niches. Here are some good niches and how I want you to come up with your ideas of what good niches could actually be, because it's going to require that you actually think about this from the audience's side and then what the solution is going to be for them, all right? So good niches would be, for example, financial planning services for self-employed tradies who are earning good money but pay too much in expenses and taxes. So what's the key here? I'm not just saying financial planning for business owners. I'm saying financial planning for a specific type of business owner who has a specific type of problem. That's what a good niche is. If you can generate leads like that, then you have a high quality, actually invested lead that you can help, right? E-com business coaching for 9-to-5 employees who want to start a side hustle selling their own e-commerce products on TikTok. So specific, right? And you can basically convince 9-to-5 employees that TikTok is the best platform ever and then start an e-commerce business. Now, personally, I don't agree with that, but you get the idea, right? Fruit and vegetable garden installation for homeowners in Sydney who want to grow their own food and live sustainably. Very specific service for an audience that has a specific desire, all right? Eyebrow tattooing certification for women over 30 who want to work for themselves as at-home beauticians and spend more time with their family, all right? You can build an entire campaign around this. And the idea is like, let's say you go and work with a business that has a beauty course, you would approach them and you would say, hey, I'm seeing a lot of women over 30 who want help with this. Is this your ideal avatar? And if you don't know who the ideal audience should be, you can go talk to the business first and ask them who their best client is, right? Home office pod installation for people who want to work from home and need a quiet place that's separated from the main house. Notice how all of them are targeting a key audience desire or solving a problem, right? They can be purchased at any time and should be any time should the person actually be interested, right? They are typically high-priced services ranging from 3 up to 100K, right? And it doesn't have to be, you can absolutely promote services and offerings that are up to 100K, right? And more as well. But typically we find that, 3, 5, 10, like that's kind of the range that we're looking for. Let's look at some bad niche examples. Emergency plumbing. This will only happen once, and then from that point on, that's it, right? And everyone's competing for the people that are searching for it right now. Risky cosmetic surgeries, like don't do this stuff. This is like, someone has to go through so much research to pick a surgeon, and it's not the sort of thing that someone's just gonna inquire on, talk to someone, be like, yeah, you know what, this person seems like a good fit, cool, let's do it. They're gonna scrutinize that business. The sales cycles are going to be for like a very long time. If it goes bad, like, I don't know, like too risky, people scared to take action. Don't do that. Dentists for everybody, not specific enough. Aircon maintenance, not high enough price. Stuff like that. Like don't do, like figure out stuff that has all the right elements, right? And then beyond that, what we want to do is we want to find an ideal type of client, right? So we want to find businesses that we can actually help. And I'm going to give you a couple of places to look, but it comes down to the person. Like this really is a partnership, when you're going out and helping a business. I don't want you to be thinking about this in terms of you getting yourself another job. It's really not about that. It's about you finding the ideal type of business and building a relationship that is a win-win partnership type of approach. You need to be able to work with the business so that you are actually incentivized and excited to help them grow and earn and grow with the business, right? There are good clients, average clients, bad clients. You will experience all of them. You don't need a million of them. You need three to five good ones. I want you to have that in your mind. We can only really create the business that we want if we are very intentional about who we actually want to help and what we do and what we do not do, okay? So a lot of the time I get asked by businesses, hey, can you make my website? No, dude, I cannot make your website. Don't do things that are basically straight up time for money things, unless you want to learn and you just want to do it and you want to make some money, cool. But that's not the core business model, right? Now, in terms of myself, personally, I'm going to give you guys my ideal client types. I've done a lot of work with financial services, financial experts, property consultants, coaches and education companies, home trades professionals, brokers. These are my ideal client types, basically expertise style of businesses, where the person has unique specialized knowledge that most people don't have, and they can help them put together a plan that can get them a big result in their life or their finances, or their relationships, right? And so these are the types of businesses generally like that I'm looking for when it comes to me, and these are the types of businesses that I'd recommend that you guys focus on. There's a very broad range here. Like in financial services, you've got, getting loans, reducing loans for businesses, for regular people, like so many different sub niches, property, buying, selling, buyers agents, blah, 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 coaching, education companies. There is a coaching program for everything out there. There are certifications for elevating your career in every possible sub niche and vertical. Home trades, building stuff, installing stuff, renovating stuff, right? These types of people. Brokers, these types of things, right? So we don't want to work with assholes that have a bad mindset. We don't want to be an employee, right, with these people. Like, don't be put in the employee frame. A lot of the time, because people have been in a job for so long, they just put themselves in an employee frame when they're out there trying to work with businesses, right? They say, oh yeah, it'll be only this amount, or it'll be this amount per week, or this amount per month. This literally in the mind of the business means that you are working for them. You're never working for them. You're working with them. You're partnering with them. You're helping them grow. You can't work with everybody, and you are choosing to work with them. And the more deliberate that you can be about that, the less you're going to be in the employee frame, and you're going to be in the partner frame. A frame is a state of mind, a level in which the conversation or the interaction is happening. People are in different frames all the time. You're in a different frame when you're at church or at the mosque or at whatever religion you're in, versus when you're hanging out with your friends, having some beers on the weekend, that type of stuff. There are different frames, right? People behave in certain ways in certain frames. You're going to behave differently in this program, especially if you respect it, than if you don't, right? In the same way, most people, when it comes to their employees, they don't really have that same level of respect as a partner. All right, I want you to command the respect of a partner when you're working with businesses. We don't usually want to deliver services that are based on time and not results. So for example, generating leads is based on results, right? Unless we can easily outsource it. I mean, if someone says, hey, I'll pay you 10 grand to build a website, the choice is yours, right? So here's a link. Here's a checklist that I ask before working with any business, right? Does the business have a good owner who's growth minded and wants to hit big goals? Do they have a good product or service that people actually like and want and need in their life? If they don't, can they make one, really? Are you personally interested in the industry enough to enjoy doing marketing for their business, right? Generating leads, getting leads, right? For their business. Do they have healthy profit margins? Ideally at least 1K, but 3K in profit, actual profit for each customer. Is there something unique about the business that would make people interested, right? That's important as a checklist as well. If there isn't, can we make it? I'm thinking like that as a growth consultant a lot of the time. They might already have it, something unique, but we want to dig that out. Are you able to run ads to a wide audience with lots of people, hundreds of thousands of potential customers, right? So these are my personal checklists that I want to pass on to you. And then there's a note here. There are more than 2 million businesses in Australia. There's like 300K. I'm pretty sure it's actually closer to 500. I'm not sure. In New Zealand, tens of millions all over the world, and you can work with all these businesses. Like, you're not tied to one location or anything. Just expand your mindset here, okay? There is no shortage of opportunities, and you only really need a handful of small clients to build an actual six-figure business. And it's okay to be selective and to say no if the business you're talking to does not fit the criteria that you're looking for, okay? So action item now here at the end of this video, we're going to keep it hopefully a small, not small, but as direct as possible for you. I don't want to go on too much longer, but I want you to actually think about what your niche could be. All right. So in order for us to have some structure moving forward, we need to know what you're aiming for and what you're going to avoid. It's okay to be broad in your approach at the beginning, but we still need direction. In order to get clarity on your direction, we're going to answer some questions, right? Number one, what type of industry do I want to focus on? Start broad. Think about industry. All right. So that the industry is like health, finance, property, right? Big industries, right? Start broad by focusing on an entire industry and begin to narrow down opportunities. Think about home improvement, legal, finance, healthcare, travel, which coaching programs, which sort of space do you think is interesting? And you can do a couple. Think businesses that are built on specialist services or expertise, advisors, brokers, agents, experts, consultants. Pick one or a few as your starting point, okay? Now, once you have your starting point industries, do that now. You can actually use our AI to help you do research and find unique services that exist in these industries. So this is how I want you to find your niche. You're going to use AI. So for example, if you choose the finance industry, common problems could be getting loans, paying debts, funding businesses, etc., etc. So let me switch over to the AI inside of Lead Launch, and I'll show you how we would go ahead and find our niche. Okay, so here we are inside of my version of Lead Launch. I'm going to go here to automation. I'm going to go to AI assistant, right? This is Jenny. That's what we call it. Now, if you click this little lightning icon, you can have some really fast sort of loading things, right? So you can go imagine niche ideas. And Jenny says, I'd love to help you come up with some niches. Which industry are you targeting, or what particular problem are you trying to solve with your advertising campaign, or with your lead generation, right? So we would say here, let's say finance industry, helping people reduce their home loan. So she just gave me debt consolidation, mortgage refinancing, credit counseling is apparently a thing, personal finance coaching, student loan refinancing services, high-end credit debt relief, investment advisory services, tax reduction, home equity, automobile refinancing, so like focusing just on their car, estate planning, business loans, starting a business, I guess would be one, life insurance policies. Like so like there's a lot of different sort of like potential solutions and options here, right, of certain types of services that can be used, right? So that would be useful, right? Use the AI to help you narrow down particular types of things that you could be promoting, okay? Number three, as you're going about your research, trying to find whatever your options are, you can understand what's going on with the market right now. So like, let's say I want to get into, debt consolidation, right? What I can consider now doing is starting to do a little bit of research on the market. There are a bunch of free tools here that you can use. Number one is going to be the ads library, but also Google Trends and Keyword Planner. I mean, when it comes to the Google Ads platform, I like using the search tools to help understand the market, even though we're not going to be running Google Ads in this program. We'll be running, I'll show you how to run some killer YouTube Shorts ads and that sort of stuff, which is a lot more powerful, in my opinion anyway. But we can absolutely use it to do research. So number one is the Facebook Ads library. Let's open that up. If you don't know what this is, it's basically any ad that is run on the Meta platform is viewable by you if it's currently being run. And you can just search for them, right? So I'm going to go Australia-wide, all ads, and I'm going to search for finance, right? What's going on in finance? Let's have a look. Let this load up. And you're able to literally see that people, like what sort of ads people are running. And if they're running ads, that means they're spending money, right? And so the question is, can we do this better than them? Like, this is literally your competition. And you see a lot of roofing ads being run right now. You see this one, loan search, says unlike traditional banks, which may take weeks to approve, we can approve within days. So they're going with the speed, to value proposition. And then just go through these, have an idea of what people are running, take screenshots, take notes, add them to a drive folder somewhere, start collecting your research, start finding out what other people are running in the space that you want to be running, and just take note of that, because I'm going to show you how to make ads that are better than your average ad, okay? Now, the other things that you can use is, for example, Google Trends and Keyword Planner. I mean, these are useful as well. Like, I can basically search for things to see how well they're trending or how many other people are searching for them. If something's trending up, that might tell me that the market's growing, and that might make me choose to do one thing over another. Just, you know, really as a comparison tool. So I'm going to put here, let's say, mortgage refinance as a search term. And then I'll compare that with car refinance, and we'll do it worldwide over 2004 to present. So let's see how we're going. And then boom, look at mortgage refinance, right? Had a huge explosion, and it's doing another little boom right there as well. So, but on the other hand, the car refinance, very steady, steadily growing, right? It was at a level 3 here back in 2009. At this stage, it's at a level 10, steadily growing market, right? We're able to kind of like compare and understand markets. Not that this is a make or break factor. At the end of the day, if there are businesses running ads and operating in the space, there's value there. Okay, don't be afraid of competition as well, because we're going to crush the competition. Most people suck at marketing, so we're going to absolutely win in that way as well. And then Keyword Planner is another thing that you can use to compare. Honestly, I think Google Trends is just good enough. Keyword Planner requires that you go into the actual Google Ads platform. I'm going to save that for later. But if you actually, screw it, you know, let's go into the Google Ads platform and give you a quick look. Okay, so here we are in my Google Ads. What you want to do, right, is you want to click Tools, Planning, Keyword Planner. If you've just launched a new Google Ads account, it's going to try to make you do an ad to get your account set up. You can just follow that process and then turn the ad, pause the ad, turn it off, or just like there's a little button that says switch to expert mode, and then it will just send you directly into this sort of hub, right? But basically you click all tools on the left, you click Keyword Planner, and then you can discover new keywords or get volume forecasts and that sort of stuff. It's the same deal. You can compare things over time, but you can get a specific idea of just how much search volume there is. So mortgage refinance. I'll put that in there, and I'm going to do car refinance. Oops, let me make sure that's right. Refinance, boom, get results, right? It's going to be very small on your screen, so I'm going to try to zoom it in. And I can see there's about 800 people a month in Australia, which is where this is set to right now, but you can set it to wherever. There's a little location thing up here at the top. And you can see that it's about 800 for mortgage, it's about 720 for car refinance. And so that's useful to know. It's about the same size market in terms of potential lead volume, right? And a whole bunch of other things that people are typically searching for. So I like using this to just understand exactly how many people are looking for it. But once again, we are convincing people, not going after people that are already looking for it yet, right? Because we're going to be launching meta ads first. So understand the market data, right? Document your research. Help, just like do a little bit of research. If people are running ads in the space already, that's a good sign, right? Now, think about what type of audiences could you target, right? You can also use AI for this. Be like, hey, what would be some good sub audiences or sub niches for home mortgage refinance, right? For example. Once you have an idea of some services that could be worth getting into, consider the audience that you would target for your ads, right? The audience can be reasonably broad, such as homeowners, service businesses, stuff like that. I like having a clearly defined audience when I think about niche. Now, what I want you to then do, once you've done all of what I've just explained to you, simply just come up with 3 ideas, right? Post them inside of the community, which I sometimes call the inner circle. For example, I want to do this, this, or this. And then I will give you feedback, or the team will give you feedback, or other members of the community will be like, hey, that's good, or I tried that, wasn't great, do this instead. And then we'll hopefully help direct and guide you to a point where you've got a couple of good opportunities that you're going after. And then beyond that point, it's really just about execution, which we're going to help you with as well in order to actually get results, right? Document your research. And then always save everything that you're doing, because as you document, that's going to be valuable for you in the long run. It's going to allow you to absorb that knowledge and everything. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you have a clear understanding of what good opportunities are, what they are not, and the type of businesses that we're helping, what a good niche is, and some practical advice that you can actually use to go out and find your own niche. And that's it. All right, see you guys soon.